athlete controversy for Deshaun Watson. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Octavia, and I am back with another video. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you are a returning viewer. I do want to say this because I don't say it that much. Make sure that if you are subscribed, that you hit that bell so you can be notified about when I post on my community, when I upload a video, when I go live, stuff like that. So make sure you do that. I got about 18% or 17% of y'all that actually have done it. So shout out to y'all. And yeah, let's get that percentage up. So today is the start of a new series for me, and I thought about this series called Athlete Controversy. So, in athlete controversy, whether it be football, basketball, this or that, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to break it down and do the necessary investigation and research so I can give y'all the real, and so that my opinion won't have to change. You know what I'm saying? Because I did the proper research and I know what I'm talking about. So without further ado, this is Athlete Controversy episode 1. See, we will be talking about Mr. Deshaun Watson. Deshaun is from Texas. He played football in Texas for a while, but he got traded to the Cleveland Browns in March of this year. His name has been wrapped up in a lot of controversy since, I want to say, late 2019 to early 2020. And his name has been mentioned pertaining to some alleged sexual assaults done by him. The Cleveland Browns quarterback by March of this year and faced criminal charges and sexual assault and harassment charges. He has been accused by over 24 women of sexual misconduct done while he was at massage parlors around different cities and states. So today we will be talking about the controversy, the accusations, and the man behind all of these allegations. Now, we've talked about rapper Mystical and several other people that have similar charges, and I'm glad that things like this are being put on and put in the public eye, because things like this happened years and decades ago, and either, you know, women did they did desperately want a voice, and they wanted to share their pain and hold the man or men accountable for sexually assaulting them, and it didn't work out. Or, you know, the women that were assaulted decades ago either got paid off, scared off, etc. Meaning that the sicko or sickos that are around doing these things never get held accountable, even if it's being shunned by the public. A lot of these public figures, no matter if they are in basketball or whatever, their bread and butter is the people. The people is what keeps a lot of public figures public and important to the public, if you know what I mean. So, Deshaun was picked up by the Cleveland Browns in March of this year. He hasn't been on the field since the year 2020, when a lot of women started to come forward and accuse him of sexual misconduct. Now, a lot of these ladies, as I've said, they worked in massage parlors. They are masseuses. And I will tie that fact back into my theory on the possibilities of him doing this or not doing this. So by the time the Browns got to Deshaun, they wanted him to play. They wanted him to get on the field and be a shining quarterback as he was in Texas before all of this controversy started. He would have been, well, he's still with them, but he would have been a very good asset this season. He can't play. He would have been a very good asset to instantly put him on the field, but once all of the allegations became so public, the NFL could not ignore it. You know, if you want to be real, I feel like the Cleveland Browns probably would have ignored it. The NFL probably would have ignored it, but in this day and time, that can't happen. You know, the public is what keeps not only football players and stuff like that, the NFL as a whole. The people keep the NFL thriving. Okay? So they're going to have to answer to the people. It ain't no more sweeping it under the rug and having them still go out there. And he don't deserve it. Deshaun Watson getting so much good attention on being traded to the Cleveland Browns that needed him. But he also started the legal proceedings and going to court, as well as having a deposition on this sexual misconduct. At the time that Deshaun Watson signed with the Cleveland Browns, 22 women at that time had civil cases against him. And so, in early March, right after he signed, Deshaun was in court answering important questions before the judge, as were the women who filed these civil suits against him. It was determined on March 11th that the quarterback will not face criminal charges and concluded the criminal proceedings against him. So, the decision was made to dismiss the 9 criminal complaints, but this wasn't the only decision that had to be made. On that same day, March 11th, Deshaun Watson had a deposition about this sexual misconduct, as well as the NFL having to a public statement and decision. In Deshaun's deposition, he invoked the Fifth Amendment, which means we as people have the right to refuse to answer questions in order to avoid incriminating oneself. And that's what Deshaun chose to do. After those 9 criminal complaints were dismissed, he still had 22 active civil lawsuits against him that alleged sexual harassment and assault. The statements from victims, the severity of it ranges from Deshaun, in certain scenarios, Deshaun allegedly refusing to cover his genitals while getting a massage, and other detailed accounts of the assault that these women have endured stated that he allegedly forced women to put his penis in their mouth. Another thing that is important to note is that all of the criminal complaints involve similar descriptions of Deshaun and what was done, allegedly. The descriptions of these women being violated was very similar, as well as them saying that he allegedly ejaculated on them once he was done or getting done. And some accounts go even farther than that. These lawsuits and allegations, because I believe they wanted him to play. You know, the NFL as an organization wanted him to play, you know, so he can't play at Texas. Let's trade him to the Cleveland Browns, but he still couldn't play. A NFL disciplinary officer did. This officer decided to suspend Deshaun for 6 games, and the NFL didn't like that. They reacted and exercised their right to appeal the decision. By appealing the decision made by the disciplinary officer, the NFL was risking a even longer suspension for Deshaun Watson. But they was like, I'm going to ride with him. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ride with him and see how it go. And another reason why I feel like they rode with him, you know what I'm saying, basically till the wheels fell off or whatever, is because he was maintaining his innocence so much. You know, a person that either don't have nothing to hide or, you know, don't have no problem telling the truth or telling their truth, you not finna invoke the Fifth Amendment over the whole situation, because that make you look even more guilty. Maybe some people would, but in my eyes, that make you look even more guilty if you don't want to answer no questions. Why? Because you even corroborating that you was there at a certain point in time kind of gives these women an avenue, even if they lying. You know what I'm saying? It gives these women avenues to say he did this allegedly to me. He forced me allegedly to do X, Y, and Z. You know? I get it. But on the other end, it does make you look like you don't want to say anything about it because you know, or you just not a good liar. You know, put it like that. You just not a good liar. So the NFL was risking an even longer suspension for Deshaun by appealing this decision. And that's exactly what happened. So the deposition was in March. We go on for a few months. Crickets. In July, we were just talking about March, he ended up settling 23 of 24 lawsuits made by 30 women. But it's not that easy to get back on the field. It's still wavering on, I want to let you guys know that I'm innocent, but I handled it. You know what I'm saying? He had to address his actions publicly, and it's not up to me to decide if it's genuine or not. Anybody would do anything, or, you know, a lot of people would do pretty much anything to get back to where they was before all of this. Just in case that we need a little recap, Deshaun hadn't touched the field in Texas or anywhere for that matter for 2 years or more as more accusers came forward. After the NFL's decision to exercise their right to appeal, Deshaun's fate sat in the hands of a former federal judge appointed by the NFL as well as the NFL's Player Association. And so the decision went from a 6-game suspension to a 11-game suspension. Also a $5 million fine, as well as mandatory counseling. His first game back on the field is scheduled for December 4th against his former team in Texas. He has lost many endorsement deals as a result of these allegations and all of the controversy wrapped up in it, including Nike, which is a very big bag, Reliance, the parent company, and more. So, when I first did my research on all of these allegations, what I concluded and what I still think is that with cases like these, of course, there could be some liars in the bunch that just wanted a quick buck. You feel what I'm saying? But do I feel like all of them are lying? No. There are some truths in these stories. And just because the Me Too movement had a lot of liars in it too, I gotta say that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta say that I see that angle. However, what I concluded from this is it's very possible that he did it. And I say that because a lot of people, especially black people, let me tell you, it's almost like the rush hour thing. I feel like it's the first rush hour where Chris Tucker is with the dude or whatever, Chinese, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Him. He with him. They going to the massage parlor. Chris Tucker thinks that the massage parlor is you get a little happy ending at the end. Now, it's something with our people where we think that shit is really still going on. You know what I'm saying? So I instantly thought of that. Like, that was like a eureka moment for me, because I'm like, did this nigga really think he was supposed to have a happy ending at the end of his massage? Like, this some type of fantasy or some shit? They don't do that everywhere. You probably gonna have to go overseas to get a little tug and pull after you get a massage, nigga. Like, seriously. They don't do that no more. Did your uncle who came home from the pen tell you that? Did he tell you that? Because I could see that happening. Like, you think that that's supposed to happen to the point where you don't put your pee-pee away. Where you think you're supposed to be butt-ass naked and just show your naked body. Come on now. And then motherfuckers be thinking it's supposed to be some unspoken thing. It's not unspoken. The ones that do it, they're going to make sure that you know that they know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And you going to get your happy ending. Do all massage parlors do that? No. They do not do that, y'all. I'm sure you can go on Craigslist and find somebody who talking about giving you a massage and they going to suck you up after. I'm sure you can find somebody on Craigslist or one of them sites. Okay? Just, you know, you gotta know that that type of shit is illegal. Take your risk. Do your thing. But we on business. We on business. A lot of these places is strictly business, and I admire that. You know, the thing about it is with that, if it's going to be unspoken, she going to have to pull your pee-pee out for you to know what's going on. She going to have to do, you know, a sexual gesture or something so you can know that it's not just professional here. You feel what I'm saying? Damn, Deshaun. You know, I ain't the judge or the jury. And I ain't saying who need to be criminally put. But this is the thing. A motherfucker that was facing charges for putting their hands on women sexually or violently or whatever, right? They end up doing that shit again. After all of this shit is settled and it's said and done, and the women that got paid and they putting some closure to it, you know, that's one thing. But if he do this shit again, he's going to jail. It's already documented whether he still want to say he innocent or not. Everything is documented. You've paid a lot of women off. You feel what I'm saying? You paid 30 women. You don't just pay 30 women because they chitter-chatting and it's not making no sense. It's some truths in there. And that's what made him have to pay them and pay the NFL. He had to pay the NFL $5 million. So in the end, you know, the NFL want to make it seem like they was riding for him and shit like that, but they still like cough up the dough. You just signed with them. Think of how goofy that is. You just signed with them. You got to take your Texas money and put that in the lawsuits and the lawyers, and then take your Cleveland Brown money and the NFL taking some of that. Like, just stop putting your hands on women. Find one woman who would be the freak of the time of the, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But this isn't it. It's not giving that. This is not the 80s, 90s, and shit like that where people is really doing the tug and pulls in the massage parlors like that. Come on. You're supposed to be old enough to know that at least. But that is episode 1 of Athlete Controversy. If you have any more athletes that's in some BS, that's in some controversy, they got their names wrapped up in not the sports, but, you know, the accusations and this and that, drop their names down below, and I will get to them in a episode very, very soon. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a blessed day. It's your girl, B. Octavia, and I will see y'all in my next video.